Okay. Okay, that was my first time doing a countdown. Oh no, 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 that was my second. Okay, welcome everyone. This is a quick live. I wanted to discuss, wait a minute. Oh, that's what I wanted. There it is. I wanted to discuss the Wendy Williams situation and Sherry Shepherd very quickly. Of course, I was on Wiley's channel. He was just live. If you have not already, please subscribe to his channel. And a lot of people were saying, no, no, let me not say a lot. It was like 50-50. No, 50-60-40 of people that were saying that Wendy Williams needed to retire and that some of us were saying, no, she needs to stay. She earned her right. She earned her spot in this industry. And we felt that we personally feel that she needs to stay. And I made this point. I called in. Excuse me, I'm doing 1,000 things at one time. So I called in and I said that, can you imagine, one second, doing laundry at the same time. Can you imagine starting out, okay, as a young DJ, meeting someone, you started your career on radio, you did all of that. And then you meet someone, you get married, you have a child. He has multiple relationships on the side of you. He he has a child on you. And mind you, it was hard for you to get pregnant as it was, but you're going through all of this drama in the back, behind the scenes. And then, you have someone that is allegedly taking money from you. That's the business side of it. And you just have to take a mental break. And your husband leaves you on top of all of that for the other woman who has a child. And mind you, I remember Tasha K broke that story about Kevin's mistress having a baby. So you go through all of that, and then the network pretty much they're giving you time off, then they're demanding that you come back. You come back, and then you leave again because you're not mentally all the way there. You just need a break. They have fill-ins. There were people that filled in for her, but not one of the people that filled in for her actually did the job. I can honestly say that not a one. Now, fast forward to today, you have Fat Joe and you have Remy Ma that are on the show, in which I still think it's horrible. It is. I mean, they just don't have that. They don't have that and there are rappers that go to the other side, such as 50 Cent. He makes movies now. He's good. He has a partner. It's about money, it's about the streets, it's about life, some of it real, some of it fictitious. But 50 Cent has all of these series going on. So I'm just saying, imagine something being snatched away from you just like that. You mentally lose it, because even the best people lose it. And then on top of that, the network is saying, okay, we're just going to move forward and bring someone else. And I do understand it's about business, even though a lot of them, I'm sure, liked Wendy, but it is about business. And so Wendy announces that in 3 months, let's keep our fingers crossed and let's pray for her that she is going to come back. I am in support of Wendy Williams coming back. And if she's not coming back to TV, I would like to see her come back to radio or podcast. Maybe she thinks that radio is not the way to go, but a podcast surely is the way to go in my eyes. In my eyes, because if she does a podcast, she can talk about her entire life. She can talk about growing up, her mom. She was very close to her mother, her family. We could get to hear about different parts of Wendy that we never really knew about. We the what was that? Lifetime. They did something about Wendy. Hey, sister. They did a what was it? They did a documentary, I guess, on the lines of documentary show about Wendy Williams. And I hope, Armin Brown, I was in the bushes. I couldn't really talk or anything, but you all had an amazing show last night. It was very, very good and informative. I loved it. Even the commentary when I think you were talking about, it was one case you were talking about with the police. But anyway, we'll talk about that after this. But that was a real good show that you two did last night. Um, and Armin Brown does have a podcast. Just like, okay, let's talk about this. Armin Brown has a podcast along with a channel. Okay, she does both. Why can't Wendy Williams do the same thing? People are so busy trying to cancel this woman out. She's old. I mean, it was so many people in the chat just saying, like, she doesn't need to be there. That was her time, blah, blah, blah. But Wendy Williams paved the way for vloggers, bloggers, and DJs. Okay. Even though she wasn't a DJ, she was still there with the music. I remember when she interviewed Suge Knight, and I will always remember this interview. I rushed home to see this. Okay. You could see it online. I don't know if it was on MTV or not, but I saw it online. And when I say people were intimidated by this man, people did not want to interview Suge Knight because he was so ruthless. He gets mad. You don't know if you're going to see if you're going to live today or tomorrow. But they were in a limo and she was like leaning into him. The cameras were on him. And when I tell you that interview was classic, I was laughing and I was like, Wendy is flirting with Suge Knight. She was all into it. Now we're talking about back then when there were a lot of people, okay, reporters, field reporters, or whatever you want to call them. They did not want to interview Suge Knight. Wendy Williams, when she was on the radio and they had cameras in the station, a lot of us remember that. And I know that was a long time ago. And you can see, if you can find it online, I'm sure that you can. Look up that Suge Knight interview. And if that does not change your mind, that this woman was not intimidated, when you aren't intimidated from people in the street, you damn sure, and you don't even come from the street, you damn sure won't be intimidated from some of these celebrities. Even when Jocelyn Hernandez, crazy behind, came on a show and was talking about giving her flowers, look at how Wendy Williams handled that. She's had bigger celebrities. You've had J-Lo on there. You've had all of these people on her show. And we're trying to cancel her already? Wendy Williams cannot be canceled. Yes, we all go through something. She went through a mental breakdown. Yes, she did. Okay. Who wouldn't go through that? Your husband and your man of over 20 years leaves you for, let's call it what it is, the side chick. I mean, leaves you and takes your money that you worked for. I'm not saying that he didn't do anything, but she's the one that had to go on camera. Okay. Her name was out there. Wendy Williams calls out such and such and such. And he takes half and gives it to her with her failed businesses. You wouldn't be upset. That's crazy. So we can't cancel Wendy so quickly. Okay. Like I said, I do believe that a podcast would be where it is. I don't know about YouTube, because YouTube would have to pay her some big, big, big bucks. I'm talking about millions to come over here. She does have a channel, but to bring it fully over here, like full time, they would have to pay her because she's worth it. When you go to work every day, okay? Let me talk about me. I went to work on that job. Y'all know what I used to do for 30 years. 30 years of dealing with people whining, crying, and complaining. Okay? Not knowing, excuse me, if I was going to come home the next day. Fighting. I have to get knee surgery because of an injury that I suffered while on duty today. I'm just waiting. I'm trying to wait till after the summer. But I dealt with that. Back pain, all of that. My job was nothing compared to what hers was. She is out in the public. So retirement for me is different than retirement for her. Retirement for me is not putting back on that uniform, not having to possibly not come home, use my weapon, fight, deal with people with diseases every day. It's totally different. Her name is out there. They already look at her some kind of way. Some people do. But I'm going to even go here. When people, I've heard people say, oh, she's messy. How many people have you ran across in your lifetime that were not messy, that did not gossip like crazy? I can name a few right off the bat. But if I call them names, I can name a few right off the bat. Y'all have seen story time, okay? I can name quite a few right off the bat that were okay, even in the DMV, that would put people's business out there, and they were just everyday people. That was her job. That wasn't their job. That was her job. So we can't cancel her already. She's a Black woman. She paved the way for a lot of people, bloggers, vloggers, talk show hosts. Okay, YouTube today, people having channels and being able to say what they, at least some of what they would, what they want to say. Okay, you need to give people credit where it's due. Wendy Williams paved the way for a lot of black vloggers, bloggers, okay, even on YouTube. She paved the way. She did. It's like Joe Budden. I'm going to say Joe Budden because he demanded millions for his podcast, okay, because he knew what he was worth. Everybody in this chat knows what they are worth. Everyone knows what they are worth. So don't be so quick to cancel her out. Don't be so quick to do that. Because are people canceling you out on your job? And lastly, Idle Mind, I'm sure Almond Brown can correct me on this. My Saint sister, Idle Mind is a devil's workshop. So imagine sitting at home every day looking at four walls. You're not doing anything. You're not doing what you love. You still have a passion for the job you did. And people are, and it's a lot of your people ready to cancel you out and boot you off. And then you got a lot of people from other races like, come on back. We welcome you. Please, Wendy Williams, I don't know if you'll see this, Wendy, but I say you go back. And if you don't go back to television, I say that you do that podcast, and I say you put it out there. Put the real Wendy out there. Now, Wiley said that she has a channel on YouTube. I'm not YouTube, but IG. She has a new IG. I think it's the real Wendy Williams. Okay, you need to do a podcast, The Real Wendy. Okay, and talk about all of it. You interview so many people when you were on radio. Look, we could go on and on about Wendy Williams, and she could tell her story for years to come. Okay, she could. Okay, and let me say this: she paved the way for Nicki Minaj, and y'all know I love me some Nicki. But for Nicki to have the channel that she has, the podcast, the channel, the show that she has, she paved the way. Okay, and Barb's don't knock me, but y'all know I love me some Nicki, but it is the truth. She, just like Nicki paved the way for a lot of Black female rappers, Wendy Williams paved the way for a lot of Black bloggers, vloggers, talk show hosts, and so on. That's why you see Nick Cannon couldn't do it. Fat Joe and Remy Ma, that's about to go real quick. Okay? And then you got Sherry Shepherd coming. I'm not hating on Sherry Shepherd, but I personally don't think that Sherry Shepherd can fill Wendy's shoes. I know you're like, well, she's not trying to. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Those are some big shoes to fill. And I'm not, no pun intended, but filling that spot, that's a huge spot to fill. You're talking about years in the field, okay? Not acting, but doing something that you really do love. So before we cancel her out, we need to give Wendy her roses, her flowers, okay? Before we cancel anybody out, because she is the first one to really put it down. Censorship, okay? She may not have been able to do it on television, but she went about it a different way. So that's all I'm saying. Now, let me. Hey, Mouth Open, TC, Almond Brown. Thank y'all, Day. Thank y'all for coming through. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Um, I just don't want people to cancel this woman out because you have to think about it. What if that was you? What if that was you in what if you were in her shoes? And look, I've been cheated on, okay? I went through a divorce before, but mine wasn't public like that. My stuff was silent. Okay? My stuff was silent. Can you imagine you walk to the store and you don't put makeup on, and you're in the limelight and you don't put makeup on, or you're having a bad hair day, or your hair is falling out from stress? Can you imagine that? I can't. I don't want to feel her shoes. I don't want to be in her position, but I do thank her for opening the doors so that a lot of us could come out and talk and get on our channels like we do and discuss different topics like we do. I do. I thank her for that. And again, if you all have not, I'm sure everyone has. Almond Brown and Polo have a Around the World, and they discuss a lot of topics in the news. Last night was really, really good. It was. It really was. And if anyone, my ma sisters, if you did not go and look at that live, I suggest that you do. I don't want to spoil it, so please go over there and just what rewatch last night's live. It was really, really good. And I'm not sure if she put it on her podcast, but also, yeah, it was a real good live. Shout out to Day, Mouth Open, TC, and Almond Brown. I thank y'all for coming through and sticking with me for a few minutes. Y'all know I really don't come on live as much as I should, but I'm trying to get better with it. And I am out, and I love y'all. Bye.